Welcome, folks, once again to another episode of the WrestleCord News Break. I'm your host, Ryan. It's May 20th, 2026, and it's time to get into some of the headlines in the world of pro wrestling and MMA. Let's start with a recap of last night's NXT on the CW network. We kicked off the show with big tag team action. It's the NXT champion, Tony D'Angelo, teaming with North American champion Miles Bourne to take on Cam Hendricks and the debuting man tank, Mason Rook. Last week, Rook didn't seem too interested in getting a tag partner, however the duo worked well together. They would go on to pick up the win when Cam Hendricks got a blind tag to Mason Rook as Rook was hitting his ground zero finisher, allowing Hendricks to slip in the back door and snag the pinfall. Mason didn't seem pleased and mean-mugged Cam Hendricks. We go backstage with the Dark State. Dion asks Sugars what kind of change they would need to make if they lost tonight. Sugars tells Dion not to worry. Kalani Jordan comes to the ring and complains about not getting a women's title shot and how she's better than everyone else. Izzy Dame shows up and says Kalani isn't going to leapfrog her on the way to the title. Then the champ herself appears. Lola Vice tells off both women before Kendall Gray comes out and says she still has her eyes on the gold. Brent Sinclair would pop in through the crowd and attack Kalani from behind with her crutch. Izzy and Jordan would end up getting tossed out of the ring, leaving Lola, Kendall, and Ren standing tall. There's another backstage segment. It's Shawn Legacy and Dorian Van Dukes. It's boring. Then Noam Dar and Romero Moreno pass by talking about Romero's upcoming match against Tristan. Double boring. Next we get some weird segment where the women's locker room is listening to Natty on a phone tell everyone to step up. Some of the girls complain, it's a catty slumber party and I'm moving on. From here we're on to our next matchup and it's the debuting Tristan Angels. We've seen some promos from Angels, but now we get to see what he looks like in the NXT ring with Romero Moreno. Tristan has a good showing. Even Shiloh is taking it all in from the crowd. But in the end, it's Noam Dar's biggest fan taking the L after a guillotine knee drop gets Tristan the pinfall. Tristan hops on the mic and calls out Shiloh, says he's the new Mr. NXT before leaving. The two NXT singles women's champions are backstage talking about Izzy Dame. The men's champions Miles and D'Angelo show up. Tony is left behind to be confronted by Naraku with a warning that he could strike at any time. Another backstage segment follows Shawn Spears and Nico Vance. Shawn booked them a tag match. Izzy isn't happy about it as it's the same night as her title match. Riveting stuff. Back to the ring, finally. It's Tatum Paxley and Lizzie Rain for the North American title. Tatum retains the title with the cemetery driver and even helps Lizzie to her feet after the win. Zario comes out of nowhere, decimating both women before holding the North American title above her head. More backstage, it's Ren and Kendall. We see the speed title. Oh yeah, that still exists. Ren gets a match against Kalani Jordan next week. Riveting stuff. Keanu Carver leaves Tate Wilder bloody and beats him with a spine buster. Great match. Even more backstage segments. They suck. Then an in-ring encounter between Cam Hendricks and Mason Brooks sees Hendricks getting laid out by the newcomer. In the main event, the NXT Tag Team Championship is on the line. Dark State, Dion Lennox, and Saquon Sugars challenge Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes. Some miscommunication within Dark State allows the champions to get a quick roll-up win. Saquon would be the one who pays the price for the communication as he becomes the victim of a 3-on-1 beatdown by his own stablemates. Joe Hendry is heading for the Billboard charts. Chris Van Fleet recently interviewed Hendry, and it was revealed that WWE will be releasing an album with his original songs. Lately on Raw, Joe Hendry has been feuding with The Vision, getting under Logan Paul's skin in particular with his new hit, Fire Logan Paul. I agree. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Jordynne Grace. Well, I guess it's a plane too. It looks like the former Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace is taking lessons to get her pilot's license. She's working with Pilots and Paws, a program that works with volunteer pilots to help transport kill shelter animals to rescue shelters and no homes. We have the ratings for AEW Collision last night from Salisbury, Maryland. The show came up 10% from the previous Saturday, pulling in 384,000 viewers for the night, a bump up from 342 that week. This is still low for the year, even with a world title defense that saw Darby Allin defeat Sammy Guevara. There has been stiff sports competition lately for both AEW and WWE programs alike. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll get a 3-hour block of AEW. 2 hours of Dynamite followed by 1 hour of Collision. The World Tag Team titles are on the line when FTR defends against Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy. The Ops have a beef with Will Ospreay, and Shibata is out to prove the Ops way is the best way as the two face off in the ring. Anything goes when Mark Briscoe battles the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa. An 8-woman tag will have the Triangle of Madness and Athena take on Thunder Rosa, Mina Shirakawa, and the Brawling Birds. Swerve Strickland will make his presence known. The Divine Dominion give us another 5-minute tag title eliminator. In trios action, Ricochet, Andrade El Idolo, and National Champion Mark Davis go head-to-head with Chris Jericho and the Young Bucks. Continental title eliminator has Jon Moxley taking on Kyle O'Reilly. And in the main event for the AEW World title, Darby Allin and Speedball Mike Bailey go toe-to-toe. With that, folks, we are at the end of today's WrestleCord News Break. I'm Ryan, signing off, hoping to see you all again tomorrow.